All right, everybody. It's Willa with Willa Trades. Let me check the date. It's 8/1/2024, and this is our watch list for August 1st, 2024. Now, just to give you context, yesterday was Wednesday, 7/31, which was the end of the month day. Plus, it was FOMC, which is the Federal Reserve, giving their decision and their talking points on what happened in their meeting on whether or not they were going to raise or lower their Fed funds interest rate. So they decided to keep the rate the same. I did not create a watch list for that. Probably won't unless I'm pretty certain about what's going to happen because that particular day is a crazy day. So I typically will not trade it unless I have a strong feeling about what's going to happen. So we did nothing yesterday and the market did a little bit of crazy. Let me pull out and you'll be able to see it on the chart. Let's just pull out into the 1 day, 1 minute. So market did a little bit of choppiness, and then you can see right around here. This is about when the rate would have come out, and then this is when the Jerome Powell, Federal Reserve Chair, would have started speaking. So in that case, what happens is the options get really weird, and so that's really the reason why I don't like to trade it. The options kind of stay really inflated until after he speaks, and then after he speaks, they kind of they do whatever move they're going to do. So we kind of stay away from that right now. And again, in the future, we may or may not trade it, so you may see that on the channel. Okay, so what did happen yesterday was the market moved up. Let's go back out to that again. So what did happen yesterday was the market moved up. You can see here a couple of days ago where it bounced. The day before Federal Reserve Day, you saw me on the watch list say that I thought the market was going to go down, and it came up, and it actually hit the previous day high, which was what I forecasted, and then it pushed down much further down than what I expected, to be quite frank with you. But it was good because we were able to predict what was going to happen there. And then we saw a bounce right around here in this 537 before we got to this demand zone. So one of the things I need to do is extend this out because that's still relevant. We then bounced and over in the overnight session, yesterday's overnight session, the day before yesterday, you could see the market moved up in anticipation of what the Federal Reserve was going to decide to do. A lot of the market is looking for cuts, but you also had some earnings happen. Another reason why this week is really volatile, some big earnings happening. Yesterday, Meta happened after hours. So you saw the bounce here and you saw the move up off of Meta's conversation, regarding their earnings. Let's see if we got it right here. You see it move up, and that was really Meta's doing. So today, here's what we're looking for. Either the market's going to look to consolidate and rest because tomorrow is another big news day, or they're going to continue the move up because there's a lot of exuberance in the market. So we just so happen to we're potentially creating a gap. Looks like we're coming down, and maybe that gap won't be relevant. I have it here. You can see I have a question mark. It's the previous gap. We just filled that one yesterday. This is pre-market high. This is pre-market low, and this is yesterday's close. So what I expect to happen today, if I were looking at this, is I think either we're going to range, and I'm leaning more toward the range day. But I think some people might get exuberant and bid the market up off of expecting a good report for tomorrow. And the report tomorrow is going to be the non-farm payroll, which is a big market mover. The non-farm payroll, if it comes in that more people are unemployed, that's going to make the market happy because, believe it or not, what that means is that the Federal Reserve is likely to cut interest rates soon, and the market really prefers that to everything else at this particular market. So, since I got it on the screen, I should be able to draw. Let's see here. Okay, boom. So I expect for us to move up here, and what I'm going to look for is a break of the pre-market high, a retest, and then a push up into the 557, 558 range. That's what I'm going to be looking for today. If we decide to break down, I don't think that I'll take shorts until we break through the pre-market low and come up and retest and go down. So I'm looking for the market to go up or I'm looking for the market to range. Another thing that can happen here is we could get up here to this 555 and just completely reject. So that's why I'm going to be looking for the evidence of the retest to see if it makes sense to go long or to prepare for a long day, because the range day could be a long day. And that's on SPY. Now remember, I trade QQQ and SPY primarily. I use QQQ and SPY primarily, but I trade SPX. And you can see the same thing is kind of happening on QQQ for those of you who prefer QQQ. Let's extend it out. Interesting thing though, on the monthly, if we were to pull up the monthly, SPY or SPX or the S&P actually closed green on the month, whereas QQQ closed red. But we had, again, some powerful earnings with Meta, which would move the market up. And you can see here we did that. We rejected off of this 613 previous gap. When they're red, they've already been filled. I just like to keep it when we go to new all-time highs to watch and see if the level's going to react there again. And you can see that it actually is reacting in that area again. So when we zoom in, we're kind of in between a couple major points for me, which is going to be the previous gap, and that could be enough to push us down. But just above it, we've got 47839, which was a previous all-time high. And below it, we've got another thing that I've seen a lot of reaction to lately, which is this 468. So I really do believe there's a high possibility for a range day. If I do see a range day confirm, I will pass over the first opportunity to trade and move to the second. So if we go up and we reject, I'm going to miss out on that reject and wait for a bounce. If we go down and we bounce, I'm going to miss over that bounce and look for the opportunity to trade a reject. And that's what I'll be looking to do. Again, I'm Willa with Willa Trades. For those of you who are learning how to trade, come learn with me. I am just 2 years in and I'm reaching that area where I understand the charts. I'm getting more and more profitable. And I thought it'd be fun to share the journey, because there are a lot of people who are like me who didn't get profitable until about that 2-year mark or after. And some of you are thinking about giving up or losing hope. Don't want you to do that, because there's plenty of money out there to be made. You just got to find your groove, and sometimes it takes a while. Again, I'm Willa with Willa Trades. Like and subscribe. My hope is one day I'll be able to trade live on YouTube, and you guys will be able to follow along with how I trade, and then maybe I'll start some fun community where we get to trade.